What is up, you beautiful humans? It's Mel, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are having a good day. And I just want to say a massive thank you to all of my new subscribers. Welcome to the crazy side of YouTube. I can get pretty crazy. Yeah. Um, yeah. So, no, but in all seriousness, a massive thank you and much love to all my new subscribers, to all my returning subscribers. Hope you guys are doing amazing. And we are back talking about Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered. This is a huge deal. I feel like we are on the precipice of a major renaissance when it comes to remasters of classic games. I'm still hoping that we get Blood Drain 1 and 2 remastered as well as Primal. If you've never played Primal, it was a game that was released back in PlayStation 2 where you get to play as this woman called Jen, and she basically finds out that she's destined for more. I don't want to spoil it. I have the first episode, I have the first gameplay on this channel, so check it out. I'll leave a card up there so you guys can check it out. But it is such a fun game and it deserves its flowers. It also deserves a sequel because everything was set up for it, you know. So I would love to see this redone, either by the people behind, you know, because we know it's Saber Interactive that's behind the Tomb Raider trilogy remasters as well as Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, but they've not been given credit. If you watch Melonie Mac Go Boom, her latest video is talking about the Legacy of Kain and the Tomb Raider remaster situation, you know, in terms of Aspire and Crystal Dynamics and stuff taking the credit and not crediting the actual developers behind the remasters, which is Saber Interactive. And I honestly think, because didn't Saber Interactive have the rights to the Knights of the Old Republic remake? I'll need to check. But if maybe that's the reason why they're not crediting Saber Interactive, but they should still be getting credit anyway because these are the developers that are making this possible. You know, they love these games, and I'm still hoping that we get Blood Drain 1 and 2, maybe a Banjo-Kazooie remaster. It doesn't have to be a remake per se, just a remaster with a new coat of paint and things like that. I love what they did with the Tomb Raider trilogy remaster, which I've still to finish, which will be coming back to the channel. But we're here to talk about Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered, and PlayStation Blog just put this up, and it's a first look at the bosses and new map details. Now this is something that I've just spoken about in either the second or third episode of my Soul Reaver gameplay, where you know, because with the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver games, it's all about memory. You have to remember which locations are where, and you know, which NPCs and things like that you have to go to. You know, you can't just, you know, press the start button and, you know, warp to an area because those things weren't available to us back then in certain games. So for them to add all of these new additions, it's going to be pretty cool, and I think it'll make the game more enjoyable for those that don't want to backtrack a lot. And this is why I love Darksiders so much, is because these games are built for you to backtrack. It's the same with The Legend of Zelda, you know, and games like that, because you go a certain way, you have areas cut off to you until you have the proper power item, you know, things like that, and then you can go back to these areas or go back to areas that you've already been to, but you can get to a certain location, such as Soul Reaver. You can't get to a lot of locations until you get your first ability. So I'm glad that there's enough attention on this that it's not taking away from the originality of the game, but it's adding new additions that'll fit nicely. And I'm gonna go into this. So we're going. Sorry, I'm stammering so much. I'm just awake when that's dropped. So, like Zepkin, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remaster, first look at bosses and new map details. I'm super excited about this. So it's featuring enhanced visuals and mechanics that promise to redefine the shadowy realm of Nosgoth, and this is something I spoke about while playing the game, and I think it's going in part 2 or part 3. Part 3 will be up by Friday, I'm hoping. So Yeah, and a massive thank you to everybody who's been watching this series. It's a lot of fun to play these games again. Um, so, and I love how that it's, again, Aspire. It's if you watch Melonie Mac Go Boom, I'll credit her in the comments, or the description. She was talking about how it's actually Saber Interactive that's making these games, that's developing these games. So I'm surprised that it's not someone from Saber Interactive that's talking about this. Um, so yeah, I'm glad that they're redefining these games and adding new additions like they did with the Tomb Raider Trilogy remaster. Where you can save anywhere on a whim. Um, you couldn't really do that in the original. You had to save crystals. Obviously, there is a mode where you can just use save crystals in the game, but I'm glad that they've made things a little bit easier for those who get really ragey, such as me. Um, so, we're deeply grateful for your enthusiastic support following our announcement of Legacy of Kain, so Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered. Your passion and dedication have become instrumental in revitalizing this beloved series. So today we wanted to share some new information on the game, with a first look at the game's bosses and their remastered glory, as well as more details on the game's brand new map system, which is a collaboration between us, the original creators, and the community. So this is something that I'm looking forward to because I think it's needed because you can't just take Soul Reaver and then sell it in today's world, and expect people to buy it without the adage of certain elements. The combat system needs improved as well, which I've noticed. I'm hoping that we have maybe a lock-on system put in place for this. The camera controls need to be fixed as well. There's a lot to be desired with Soul Reaver, but it's still an amazing game, just down to the voice actors and the storytelling and the pacing of it. It's such a phenomenal game. If you've not played it, find it. I think it's on Steam and GOG, so make sure to check it out. So they have shown screenshots of the bosses. Now, this is one that I've just fought. This is Malachi. Each boss encounter in Legacy of Kain, so Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered, is designed to challenge a player's mastery of Raziel's abilities. Our goal with the character models was to improve the textures as much as we could while ensuring that they blend in with the apocalyptic world. I actually love this design because when you're playing the original, you don't really get to see all of the details, because everything is just like flat. It's like splat on a pancake. If you've ever played Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets on PlayStation 1, you'll know that the human phases are pretty much flat and it looks very bizarre, even by today's standards. So I like that they've redone these. It looks a lot better. It does. And I like that they've got this almost humanoid thing popping out the side of him. I don't know, maybe that might be his original form, or it's just his victims, but I can see a foot here as well. I mean, that's pretty eerie. So Melchiah received a full texture overhaul with darkened skin and a similar slimier body feel. The bones and skeletal mapping are now more realistic and gory, and his eye colour was adjusted to match the original look. Melchiah, the first of Kain's lieutenants, Raziel must defeat. The battle takes place in the necropolis where Melchiah chases Raziel down while phasing through gates, making the spectral realm no longer safe. Strategically use the environment to expose Melchiah's vulnerabilities and use his own devices against him, which, if you've seen me... Oh, it's not uploaded yet. You'll see that in part 3 on Friday. I got to finally fight him after dying. This is the second boss. Zephin was too desaturated, so they had to completely repaint his face. I like that design. See, these boss designs, I mean, Darksiders took a lot from older games, whether it was from God of War or Legend of Zelda. There's a lot of Legend of Zelda moments in there, as well as Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. You can see it a mile off, but it doesn't make the games any less great. Darksiders is one of my all-time favorite series. I'm still hoping for Darksiders 4. I know there's something in the pipeline, because they are basically releasing Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition on PlayStation 5. I don't know if there's any graphical improvements, all of that stuff. I'll need to look it up. So yeah, Zephyr fought in a dilapidated cathedral. Zephyr has evolved into an insect-like creature, fusing with his towering structure. You'll need to ascend to the highest chambers and become willingly ensnared to be able to confront him. Set your room for any elemental advantages which could help you in this endeavor. I also love the new redesign for Raziel. Looks pretty cool. And it's still cartoonish. It blends in with those older games that you would see on PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. I like it. I like that they didn't make it too modern, because with these classic games, they deserve to remain in their heyday, right? And if they're going to do a more modern take, then obviously do a next iteration, a next gen version of the games. I would love to see what Kain and Raziel would look like in next gen. In Unreal Engine 5, that would be sick. Like, oh my god, that would be incredible. Rahab's head has been remodeled, so the eyes now have a reddish glow, which gives them a menacing look. We've also altered the fangs to look more vampiric and made the skin a little more grey. Rahab, the battle occurs in a flooded abbey. Rahab is fully immune to water, which is lethal to Raziel. Use Raziel's agility to avoid Rahab's deadly close range and long range attacks by jumping and making use of your newly gained telekinetic projectile ability to exploit Rahab's extreme vulnerability to sunlight. Then there's this dude. Duma's armor is now a lot dirtier and has patches of mold and blood over it, considering he was impaled for centuries. Duma, in a desolated fortress, Duma awaits reanimation. Just like his other brethren, Duma is invulnerable to any attacks, so Raziel has to be cunning and lure him to a flame powerful enough to melt even the hardest metal, all while avoiding tremendous earthquakes caused by Duma's incredible strength. And then there's Kain. Kain looks incredible. Really like the redesign for him. Now remember, guys, this is a remaster. It's not a remake. It's still the same game with a new coat of paint and new additions, more quality of life improvements. The models for Kain in both Soul Reaver and Soul Reaver 2 needed to be completely redesigned to mitigate textural issues. In part 3 of my gameplay, we finally get to meet Kain and even fight him for the first time, which was incredible. And when you see him, you'll understand why they had to, redesign him, because the textures are pretty flat. With the increased polygon count, we felt it was important to bring his look a lot closer to the Kain that we could see in the original FMVs, which was a lot more detailed and showed more or less what the original intent was for the character. The original model in Soul Reaver 1 was especially limited, so now both games have a Kain that looks consistent between the two titles. Thank you. So yeah, Raziel first confronts Kain at the Pillars, where he must be swift and strike Kain 3 times to gain the Soul Reaver. The second encounter takes place in the Chrono Pass, where the tiered arena makes evasion even more challenging. Track your target's movements closely and make haste to strike him with the Soul Reaver. If you cannot reach him in time, use your telekinetic projectile to stop Kain from using his powerful lightning attack. This encounter is intense and dramatic, but we won't spoil how it concludes. Pre-order to find out. Or you can just wait until I finish playing the game for the channel. So they've given us a map and a compass. So for those who don't want to backtrack a lot, or who just want, because I said something about fast travel in one of the episodes. I would love if they included a fast travel feature, it made things a little bit easier, instead of having to stand on a portal. Because here's the thing, when you stand on a portal, you lose your weaponry, and this is before you get the Soul Reaver. So if you are more of a weapon-based fighter and not a melee fighter, you're going to find it difficult having to traverse these, different planes, whether it's the astral plane, because in the astral plane you can't use weaponry unless it's your Soul Reaver, which you don't get until you fight Kain. So it's that sort of thing. You have to be very careful with your health when you traverse into the material realm and, all that stuff. So they've created an entire map for us, and already you can see the gateways, which I really like. So we are currently, what are we? We're at the Citadel Gate. So it's just above the blue flames, pretty much. Can't even see my pointer. So yeah, I love this. So here's the map. Discover the ruined city. So you've got underworld exit, all of the places that you unlock. You've also got a collectible pop up as well, which tells you how much energy power ups you found, health power ups, all of that sort of stuff. In the original versions of the games, players often found themselves wandering the vast, twisting landscapes of Nosgoth, relying heavily on memory and environmental clues to navigate. The introduction of the map and compass marks a thoughtful enhancement that blends modern gameplay conveniences with the preservation of the explorative experiences the original titles were known for. The compass gently nudges the player in the right direction without giving away specific details or where to go or what to do next, and the map is more of a reference tool than a guide. We also included a collection tracker for any health and energy power-ups so that you know if you've gotten all of the collectibles within each area. All of the major Nosgoth features are present and accurately condensed based on the setting and gameplay. For fans who might feel that these additions are a major departure from the original games, we've made sure to incorporate a toggle off function for the compass, which I really like. And they've also given us hints, interaction hints, all of that stuff. So this is just incredible because when it comes to the people behind the remasters, they love these games, hence the reason why they're remastering them. It's the same with I can't even remember who did the System Shock remake, 1 and 2 remakes, but they're passionate about it. And this is where the IPs of these games belong in the hands of people who are passionate about the games. It's not just for the money for them. This is their passion. It's what they love doing. So, and they get to celebrate it. And, the fact that we get to play remasters, almost 20 something years later, even maybe less than that, it's just incredible. In addition to its gameplay utility, the map is also a wonderful art piece that was created in collaboration with their development team, community advisors, artists, and designers at Crystal Dynamics. We knew accuracy was paramount, so we worked hard to pull from the original source art, design documents, and clues from game lore. We also incorporated community reviews to ensure nothing has been missed. Thanks to these efforts, the map is accurate enough to feature in the new lore reader bonus menu, identifying the location of each lore entry. I love anything to do with lore. When it comes to Mass Effect, I love the narrator just going through all of the locations and enemies and all of the story points. It's great. I love stuff like that. So this is basically the map. I love it. For design direction, Crystal Dynamics designers used a heavily linked approach that sits beautifully within the existing art, creating a stunning new way to visualize the world of Nosgoth. The map and compass are there to serve as welcome tools for exploration. See, this will help people that have never played the games before, and obviously as returning players like myself, we can easily turn it off and just explore it as we would with the original. Ensuring that the remastered versions remain both a tribute to the classics and a modernized, more player-friendly experience. The Aspire team looks forward to sharing more information before the launch of Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered on December 10th. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. I cannot wait to play it. It's a big deal. And we already know that Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 Remastered is coming out on February 14th. So that's another huge deal. Again, I'm hoping that Saber Interactive, Aspire, they buy up more titles. I've already seen it with Star Wars. I've not played the Battlefront Remastered Collection. I know there's a lot of gripe about it. I'm going to get it anyway and play it because I love Star Wars. But obviously I'm going to wait until it drops down in price because I'm smart. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to all of the new enhancements and just the attention to detail. It's what I loved about the medieval remasters as well. The medieval remasters were incredible. I actually need to go back and finish those games. In fact, Medieval 2 never got a remaster. It needs one. But yeah, looking forward to it. What do you guys think about the new details? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. The next part of my Soul Reaver gameplay won't be up until Friday, so that gives me enough time to finish editing the next part of Metaphor Refantasio. it's getting scary, y'all. That's all I've got to say. But a massive thank you for your continued support. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there's anything else that you would like me to discuss that's newsworthy in the gaming space, let me know, and I will speak to you guys in the next one. Bye.